Now, I will never ever consider or even attempt to sing like the legendary Luther Vandross. But if you were born decades ago, mostly everyone knows that song from him. The house is not a home. Now, I know for me, being a budding, learning trumpeter, many of my instructors will tell me, you must sing. And I hate it because I hate my voice. But that's so important to singing, to be able to play properly on the instrument. Now, that has nothing to do with this discussion today, but thought I mentioned, that's how beautiful Mr. Vandross's voice was, and on that song that mostly everyone in this world knows about, that song, The House is Not a Home. But it did tangentially and way from left field generate this discussion today about going home and staying home. So I said go home and stay home, but also to then take it outside. Yes, you go home, stay home, and then take your home outside. I hope that this might come across as I hope it doesn't come across as another dilemma of resilience from me presenting this topic to you today with a seemingly confusing tagline of going home, staying home, and take it outside. That's not the intent to confuse you today. Yes, with the intent to drive your new questions with my approaches to problems. Obviously, I cannot resolve your problems in any episode or any conversation. I never propose to do that either. I got my own problems. So I could not attempt to resolve or discuss yours because I don't know your life. But what I do provide you with, and in each 820 episode, is with an example of experiences unique to me. Yet I always address and relay those experiences in and through the resilience that is common to you and I and to everyone we must meet in this life, just like in this conversation. Mr. Alan Watts, and one of his messages I listened to the other day, prompted this discussion. That Alan Watts video, he called that one, Why Spirituality Awake People to Stay at Home. Or, let me say it again. It was titled, While Spiritual Awake People Stay at Home. I think that's what it was called. Why Spiritual Awake People Stay at Home. In that recording, Mr. Watts cited the general and status quo opinion of people who choose to stay at home more than to go out and habitually socialize with the world. He opined that the majority of the world would see and judge that tendency to stay at home as evasive or isolated or detached or dismissive of social norms on their world. Mr. Watts offered a different lens on that reaction, and probably normal in today's world, societies, and so-called communities. That the staying at home does not mean membership in the hermit fraternity or sorority or club or gang. It doesn't mean that. He points out a way different reason and purpose for staying at home, and not just for us introverts out here. He made it very clear the reason that most of society, and for those that choose the more home versus more out of home approach, is the same. For those that judge and criticize those of us who would rather stay home as scared or reluctant or superior or inferior. And for those who choose not to feel that they have to go out, to leave the home that they already have is the same reason. The same reason. Some think that to stay at home means, or does mean, you're afraid to spend significant time alone. Alone with themselves. Alone with themselves to listen to their own one internal voice. Without any want or projected need for external approval and validation. This staying at home is not a retreat or avoidance of the life outside of you. Actually, it is a forward return to yourself, a refresh and reset of your resilience. You cannot acquire that from outside of you. So please remember, whatever you seek and may be outside of you is merely a reflection of what you observe or ignore within you. That's why I emphasize the positive, the yes, the love perspective of the present moment. And of all the beauty you have defined for yourself. And after you have produced the infrastructure of your presence and beauty through the desire, the drive, the discipline, and the raw, positive, yes, and love parts of you. Certainly, this common resilience between you and I can get distracted by the evil side of respective personalities. That surface or expressed shell of ourselves. It will be great if that exposure of you reflects the beauty of your inner core and courage. But sometimes we give in to the negative, the easy side of the street. So staying at home gives you the option to address that seemingly impossible void to fill only through the clubs or social hours or happy hours happening all around you. That void, VOID, the missing value, opportunity, intent, and desire. That void cannot get addressed by those visits to the latest and greatest craze out there. Have the courage to spend that actual, active, spiritual time in the resort of your home. The resort, the constant of your heart. Listen to that and not to the pulsating electronic noise around you, replacing the noise with the peace, the silence, the lessons to advance with you. Now, outside, but comfortably at home inside of yourself. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please remember, it is always 8:20.